Now, a lot of people keep asking me, well, Ronnie, what is your damn problem? You wanted this since season 5. You mentioned this idea before anyone on YouTube was talking about it, and you should be the most excited because this is something you've been wanting ever since you read The Walking Dead, as far as Dwight on TV, in the comic. Yeah, this is true. This is an idea I've had for a very long time. However, I was picturing something a little bit more tense. I was picturing something like, Daryl and Dwight having to be on the run from the Saviors the entire episode. Imagine if very early on, Daryl ran into Dwight and the girl, and very early on, they sped that up to where Wade and the Saviors came up the first time, and they were able to get away. And then let's say now the Saviors were even involved in the girl falling into the glass. I mean, anything could have happened. They could have had some kind of altercation where one of the Saviors found them there and there was a struggle, or they got away. I wanted something like that. Like every minute of the episode, around the corner is danger, every single moment. When the guy was coming around and Daryl tricked him to get his arm bit, what if a guy came around the corner too close for... too close. No, he has his bow and arrow. That'd be pretty quiet. Ooh, you know what would be cool? If the guy comes around the corner with the gun, as he aims the gun, Daryl licks off a shot with the bow, but he doesn't kill the guy. It goes through his arm, making him drop the gun. No shots is fired. Daryl reacts quickly, I mean super quick because they're only a couple feet away, lunges at the guy, grabs him by the mouth, spins him around, but at the same time, don't forget there's a walker there. Let's pretend this one isn't trapped. So now we have Daryl covering the guy's mouth, the walker coming for them, and he can't do anything else. I mean, he can let go of the guy, grab his knife, but the guy could probably wiggle free at that point. So Daryl's struggling. Wade and them are coming closer. Daryl doesn't know what to do. The walker's getting closer. Tension's mounting up, and then finally Daryl has to turn the guy to the walker and let the walker rip the guy's throat out or something, eat the guy as Daryl's holding him. I think that would have been vicious. I think there'd be a lot of tension and suspense there, and yeah, that sounds good. Often at the top of my head, that sounds good. And then from there on, they could venture out, shit like that. So that way they're on the run, they could get caught throughout the entire episode, and then maybe at the end, that's when that shit happens, and Dwight sees Daryl, and because Daryl dropped his crossbow, Dwight picks it up, but instead of going with Daryl, after he feeds the guy to the walker. Mind you, Wade and them are coming this way. Sherry and Dwight hop up on the bike and get going. And now I'm talking, you got to keep in mind, when I'm saying this, you need to rearrange things to where shit happens differently. They are at where the bike is around at this point in time. So Daryl now, after he feeds the guy to the walker, Daryl now hides behind a tree. The guy's body is dead with the walker eating him. So this way it looks like the walker got the guy and no one else got the guy, so there's no need for revenge. That squashes that. So Dwight and Sherry now, loud on the bike, flee with Daryl's crossbow, and Daryl's hiding behind a tree. Wade is right here. You can still cover him up because show it from Daryl's point of view. And then Wade and them would take off after Dwight. You can even add the same line at the ending where Daryl goes to get his crossbow. The walker's feeding on the guy. Daryl goes to get his crossbow to shoot the walker. Dwight grabs it. Sherry puts the gun on him, and they say, I'm sorry, and he's like, you're gonna be. And as soon as Daryl's thinking he should lunge to get it or what's really going on, they hop on the bike, and then you hear crack, 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 and here's Wade and them. Daryl ducks around a tree, and they could even, what would be real cool is if Daryl's by a tree right here, and the walker's feasting on that dude, and remind you, this happens within seconds. This isn't playing out in a 10-minute thing. This has happened back to back to back, so it's suspense. When Wade and them come out, we can see it from Daryl's point of view, and they're just like, F it, and they shoot the walker here, and Daryl could be there still to where it's like all so close, and they're like, okay, we're going to get his body in a minute, go after them. So then they go, and you see Daryl sneak up out of there, and then he could still find the patty, whatever, the truck. But that is my idea for what I wanted. I wanted something that was suspense all the time. In my original suggestion, it was walkers. It wasn't survivors. So that I don't claim any credit for. But being saviors, but being that they changed it as saviors, I think they would have just made it a little more suspenseful the entire way through. Because none of it was suspenseful. I mean, it was, okay, Daryl's tied up, they're walking, they're talking. Imagine if they were on the run while that was happening. I think that would have been a little more suspenseful. That's just my opinion. And I'll put this in its own video so some of you can watch it who don't like watching the afterthoughts. Because not everyone likes the afterthoughts. So if you're watching this, it's in its own video. Leave your thoughts and opinions about this scene or how you liked or didn't like episode 6 with the Saviors and Dwight's introduction. Keep it specifically on that. Because that's why I separated this from the other video. So let's talk about the Savior's original introduction with Daryl and Dwight. Talk about Dwight. Put all your thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.